Today, I'm super excited to be showing you how to do Australian Hardgroove techno, kind of like 6Sense, Ned Bennett, Green Roll Records type stuff. As usual, go to the top of the description. You can download the sample pack and project file right now. It's a great way to level up your tracks immediately. Thanks for the support, everybody, and let's get started. Alright, so we're at 145 BPM. First thing we got up here is our little sidechain. Just a click, just took a little piece of this kick. Then we've got the actual kick. So you can see with this kick, it's a pretty high-tuned kick, and with that, we're also cutting the lows pretty high, and then obviously converting to mono, right? But the other thing is that it's not got that much tail, really. Like you see, I drag that out, and it's like that, but then I do this, and it's gonna fit a lot better, because I notice these tracks tend to have more of like these kind of bass lines, like that kind of tech house rolling sort of thing. So the really short kick is essential with that, right? So then moving forward to the bass, this is what it looks like on the MIDI. It's really simple. It's just C and G and then C again. The thing is it's kind of like everything working together, right? Like, okay, so we have this. But see, the sidechain kind of brings out the rhythm more, right? Because that first note being the one note, but then like with the sidechain kind of making it like duck, you know? It's almost like it's adding notes almost, right? So it's like deceptively simple. And then on top of that, having the EQ. So obviously this is already a pretty cut sound, right? It's a square wave. It's not even that harmonically rich. Going into a bandpass filter. And then we essentially have this other bandpass filter here, which is cutting a bit of sub and really just focusing it into that right spot that you need it to be, right? And then we're just converting the whole thing to mono. So it really does, it's a very simple things all working together to make something complex. Then we just got our little open hi-hat. Again, just like the kick, I noticed like really short tends to groove better. And same with the clap, you can hear it's like a really short clap. So you're basically going to have this like really tight groove between the kick and hi-hat, clap, and bass. Right, and then that's the foundation. Now you start bringing in some rave loops. Right, but those rave loops aren't going to work unless you already have that smacking. Like when I make these tracks for you guys, it doesn't go to anything else until I got this down, right? And I think if you do that in general, your production will go a lot smoother. So then we got some loops, right? Of course, very important for Hardgroove. We got this one, which is just like a good driver. We got this one. And those kind of work together, right? Like one's in the high end, one's in the mid. We have a bongo. So I just made this loop myself, right? You basically just want to keep it, it's like steady 16 notes, a little bit of swing. I did that by hand because I wanted it to feel more raw and real. I've got, yeah, you can hear it's just straight 16 notes, and then you get like maybe 3 or 4 different bongo sounds and do it across those, and it'll create this kind of a rhythm. It's not too hard. And then it's just a high pass and then an auto pan sidechain. We got another little loop. You know, it's just all about stacking these up and kind of just building that sound over time. And then we have some more loops. And then in this case, it's kind of like multiple loops creating one thing. Like we got this, mid-range, this, a bit more highs, but also some driving in the lower mids. And then this same thing, but kind of like you can hear a bit different. And then you put it all together. And then it's just kind of like one loop, and then we sidechain it. So then we got our melodic elements. So I want you to hear these all on their own, because you can hear even with no drums going. Like the drums on their own are obviously really groovy, but also this on its own is really groovy. You know, these tracks aren't as minimal as like the more old school Hardgroove. These guys are definitely pushing this into a new place and allowing it to be a bit more busy, but at the same time still, you know, it's obviously still kind of comes together pretty well. It's not just overstuffed in the end, right? So the way you do that is it's basically like a lot of little stabs. Like we have Right, some of the usual sort of hard groove stabs you guys have heard. Then there's this one under those. Right, so this one is more like a steady. Sort of pattern, right? And then it goes up. And that's the other thing. These guys aren't afraid to get a little melodic with the chord stabs too, which I think is really nice. It's really futuristic and chic and elegant. So we got this here. I literally just took this stab off the beginning of this little like loop here. And then there's a bit of delay and then a high pass filter. Then we got this one, which really kind of fits with those other two I showed you, right? It's like these three. Kind of create that groove, and then the other stuff sort of goes on top of it. And then the last thing there that kind of is going on is this little vocal. So we got this. So what I did here, it's one of those, right? One of those old 3/6 samples. I doubled the speed and I pitched it up. Right, because like I think the faster vocal does really feel more hard groove, like the that kind of a flow, right, of like sounding really sampled. We get this auto pan, which is just making it sound sidechain, and it also helps because like you kind of low-key don't want the vocal to just be right up on top with this. It's kind of like another melodic element. So what this kind of does, it helps kind of blur it a little. Right, it's like you're getting the words coming through a bit, but it's not just like annoying. And then we have a high pass filter just to make sure there's no low end getting in the way of anything. And there we are. So that's going to be it for this one, guys. I hope you enjoyed. Make sure to like this video as well as subscribe. And let me know what you think of this video in the comments. You can get the full project files, samples, MIDI, presets, everything from this video at the top of the description on my website. Definitely go grab that. It's a really great way to take your tracks to the next level instantly. There's not much you can really do right today to make better tracks for life. But if you grab this, you actually will. So thanks for the support, everybody. And I will see you tomorrow with another video.